Taylor Cocke here for Yahoo Esports. I'm sitting here with Reynad. I wanted to talk to him about the esports section of Hearthstone going forward into 2016, specifically with the standard change. What are your first thoughts about that? Is that something that's going to be good for the scene? What sort of advantages does that bring?
I would say that the main advantage is in just mixing things up a little bit more frequently, like when expansions come out. So that's going to give a bigger edge to the people that are good at deck building, identifying niches in a metagame, and like ways to get a leg up on individual tournaments. So I definitely think that it'll be a lot more difficult to just net deck, strong decks that have been strong for a long time and still perform well.
So what are some of the things that you're most excited about going into the new season? Like, are you excited to like really sit down and go about that sort of deck building process?
I mean, I'm just excited to play more Hearthstone again. You know, when we don't have an expansion for a couple months and decks like Druid that have been good for 2 years are still like at the top of the metagame, it becomes kind of I'm kind of like disincentivized to play Hearthstone a lot because it's just like a little bit more stale. But Standard is definitely going to shake that up, and it's not just that it'll make it more fun to play in the short term and really like make me more engaged and want to be playing it like 10 hours a day because the expansion and everything. It'll mostly be because like future expansions, not just this one, that will have like a bigger influence over the metagame. Like every single time a set comes out, it's going to change the game a lot more than it has been up to this point. So that'll be pretty exciting.
How do you go about the process of deck building? Because it seems like everyone's trying to scramble to put together the best decks right off the bat. What are you looking for in new cards?
I wouldn't say I have like any specific process. It's just kind of one of like 5 different processes depending on the type of deck, right? Either you're refining an existing one or you're building one from the ground up because of some combo that you're trying to get to work, or you build it around a build around me card type of thing. It's ways like that, basically. That's kind of how it's done.
If you could be remembered for any one of the decks that you've created so far, what's the one deck that you want to be remembered for in the long term?
I guess Zoo's the one that has been that deck up to this point. I made the deck and I ported the name from Magic into Hearthstone, which is why it's kind of ubiquitous now. So I guess that's the one that I've been known for.
What are some of the things that you think Blizzard can learn from Wizards of the Coast in terms of the competitive scene, in terms of making it more exciting or just more competitive?
I mean, Wizards of the Coast definitely does a lot of things right with their scene. It's just the thing is, the game's been around for a lot longer time. The infrastructure is more robust. There are clear-cut events that happen every single year, and the community knows like the importance of those events and how to identify like, okay, which victories are impressive, how do we gauge certain players based on their performance. But all these things need to happen years down the line. Hearthstone's still, at the end of the day, a very young game. Those things take time to develop, and it's been improving very quickly. So I expect like 2017 will be in a pretty good spot.
All right, thank you so much for talking to us. For more Hearthstone, keep it locked right here to Yahoo Esports.